Hello and welcome back to the Acceleration Netcast. In today's episode, we've got some data from this table that we worked with a couple episodes back, and we've already built a query that extracts the tabular data part and gets rid of this, and it gets rid of this, and that looks like that right there. That's the output of that query. It's this query right there. The problem is that this executed, the day that the query was executed, is actually a piece of information we want. So what we want to do is we want to modify this query so that we go ahead and extract this date, which is going to be a little bit tricky because it's already in a text string. So let's go ahead and get started doing that. I'll tab back here. I'm going to right click on here and go to edit to bring up my editor. So here's where we end up, which is the same as the output of the query. Here's where we started, essentially. And so what we're going to do is we're going to insert some steps in between navigation and remove top rows to grab this, and then at the bottom we're going to take that thing we grabbed and add it as its own column. Alright, so we're going to head over to the advanced editor. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on, bring it down. There we go. Let's widen it so you can see it. So we're going to add some rows first off here after sheet 1. So our first job is to grab this thing right here and convert it into a text string. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to be able to, for any sheet we load, grab the last row. Not the 11th row necessarily, because this data might change next week, or we might use this in a function. We don't want to grab 11 because some tables, that might be part of the table. We want to always make sure we grab it from the last row, because that's where we think that this piece of information is always going to reside. That's not too hard. Step 1 is we're going to extract the row itself. And once we've done that, we'll worry about extracting the individual field from it. So to start off with, let's go ahead and grab the last row. Grab last row. And for that, we're going to use the table.lastN function, which grabs the last n number of rows. Which table we're going to pull from? Well, we're going to pull from this right here. Control C, Control V, and how many rows do we want to pull? Well, we just want to pull the one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit comma, and I'm going to go ahead and hit done. Now, if you notice, the results are the same. That's because we've sort of inserted this step in here and it doesn't really do anything. It just doesn't hurt it. It just doesn't actually end up going anywhere. So if I click on it, we can see the result. So we started here, and then we grab this last row. So now we have a table that has one row. That table has two columns, column 1 and column 2, and in column 1 is the information that we want. Okay, pop back to the advanced editor. So we want to grab the text. We want to grab the text. So we're going to extract text. 1. Okay, oops. There we go. And for that, we're going to go to this table right here. We're going to go to the first row, which is the same thing as row 0 as far as M is concerned. And we could grab this null, but we don't care about that. We want this part, so we're going to grab column 1. So we've got grab last row, go to that table, go to the first row, and get the value from column 1. Okay, comma again, hit done. All right, so now we've got started here, grab the last row, and now we've gone to row 0 and grabbed that piece of data. And, oop, I spelled it wrong. Grab last, there we go. That'll work a lot better. All done. Grab last row. There we go. So we've grabbed the text string. So now that we've got that text string, there's too much stuff in here. We want to remove everything before the 2015 and everything after the 26 there. And that's not that hard to do. If you were in Excel, you would use the mid function. That doesn't exist here in M, but its equivalent does, and it's just fine. So, in fact, let's give ourselves another row, because this is sort of a different line of development here. So we're going to do just the date part, just date. Add some spaces, because I like having my equal signs line up. I think it makes things easier to read. Text.range. So go grab a range from a text string. Okay, well, which text string do you want to pull from? Well, we want to pull from extract text. All right. Well, where do you want to start? Well, you could count, but you could just trust me that this 2 right here, that's the 10th position, so we want to pull from the 10th position. And how many characters would you like to pull? That's argument 3. Well, it turns out we don't want to pull all of them because we don't want this time part. We want everything up to the 26. And if you count all the numbers and all the periods, that's going to also end up being 10 characters. So if I hit OK. So now we were here, and now we just extracted that part. Now, I really like these, the way that they format these date things where you've got periods instead of slashes. Frankly, I didn't even test this. This might even work without us fixing it, but I'm just going to show you how to fix it anyways. We're just going to go ahead and replace those periods with slashes. That way we know that it will work. Head back to the advanced editor. Okay, enter. So we're going to clean it. Cleaned. Doop, doop, doop. Equals text dot replace. And what are we replacing? Which value are we replacing? Well, we're replacing the just date value. Okay. Which text string are we going to replace in it? We're going to replace all periods. Anytime you see a period, replace it with a slash. Okay. Comma. Oop. Close parentheses. Comma. All right. I think you pretty much know what this is going to look like, but just in case, we were there, and now we've got those slashes. Okay. We're going to head back to the advanced editor. So now this is still a text string, mind you. So we want to make sure that we convert this thing to a date. And to do that, that's pretty easy. We're going to do converted, and we've got date dot from text. That is the function we are going to use, which, as you might guess, takes a text string and then converts it to a date, or it gets a date from text. Cleaned, comma. All right. Once again, we were there, and now we've got this. Even though they don't look all that different, this is just text. It's a series of Scrabble tiles. This is a point in the calendar. This is an actual date time value. Okay, head back to the advanced editor. So now this converted value, this is the thing that we want. And here's sort of the end result of our table. What we need to do is we need to take this and sort of squeeze it into a column there, which is not too hard to do. So we're going to go here. Now we're going to head down to the bottom, and we're going to do add column. So what is the add column? How is that defined? Well, we're going to do table dot add column, as you might expect. Open parentheses. There's 3 arguments, and since they're long enough, I'm actually going to split this up over a couple different lines to make it easier to read. So which table would we like to add a column to? Well, we're going to add it to this last step here, which is the same thing as that. Control C. There we go. Control V, comma. All right. What would you like to call this new column? We're going to just call it le date. Le date, because we're classy like that. Comma. All right. Well, that's the name of it. What would you like the value for that column to be? Well, we're going to do each. And what this says is for each row in that column, we're going to do a calculation. Now we could do 2 plus 2, or we could do like ID plus value. We don't want to do any of that stuff. All we want to do is just take the converted value. So for every row, just use the converted value. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Add a close quotation. We have to add a comma here because this is no longer the last declaration. This is. And I think we should be okay. And now, whoops. What did I... Oh, I see. Not necessarily wrong. We need to change the in to an add column. Let's see if that works. Oh man, I'm just messing up all over the place here. What did I... Oh, I spelled this incorrectly. So let's just change this to converted. And all done. All right, there we go. So now we've started here. We've grabbed this piece of data. We've done a couple different transformations to it till we get it down to a value that we like as a date thing. Then we go back to our original finished product, and we use add column to add that value as its own column to this new date. All right, let's close and load this. Now, if you'll notice here, it's not automatically formatted, but that's easy enough to fix. So we're going to go ahead and wait till we get this little downward arrow. We're going to click once just because we just want to reformat that part. You're going to hold down Control and Shift and press the button that looks kind of like a calendar, which happens to be the pound symbol, which is the Control Shift 3. And we get date times. All right, well, I hope that was helpful, and I will see you next video.